For more than 30 years, a murder victim in Arkansas had no name. Investigators knew who killed her, but no one knew who she actually was. On July 10, 1991, police were called to the Whitehall Motel in El Dorado, Arkansas. Inside one of the rooms, they found the body of a young woman in her early 20s. She had been living under the name Cheryl Anwick, but that name wasn't real. When detectives began digging into her past, things became even stranger. The identification card she carried belonged to someone else. Investigators traced her movements across several states, discovering she used multiple identities. Sometimes she called herself Kelly Carr, other times Sharon Wiley. Friends in different cities even knew her as Mercedes. No one seemed to know where she was truly from. Despite the mystery, police arrested the man responsible for her death, James He was eventually convicted of the crime. But even after the case was closed, one question remained. Who was she? Investigators spent decades trying to find her real name. They checked missing person reports. They compared fingerprints. They reviewed dozens of potential men. Nothing worked. The young woman became known only as Dorado Jane Doe. For over 30 years, she remained a mystery. Then, advances in genetic genealogy finally changed everything. In 2019, investigators began tracing distant relatives through DNA databases. Piece by piece, they built a family tree that stretched across several states. Finally, in May 2022, the breakthrough came. The woman once known as Dorado Jane Doe was identified. Her name was Kelly. She was 23 years old when her life ended in that motel room. Her family chose to keep her last name private, hoping to protect what little privacy remained after decades of silence. But after 30 years without a name, Kelly finally had her identity back. And sometimes, in cold cases like this, that alone can bring a small measure of justice.